everyone, this is your host Brian, and welcome to episode 10. Today's topic, Christmas lights. They always look so beautiful, but it's such a hassle setting them up, right? We all hate the heavy snow, the biting wind. Don't even get me started on the broken bulbs. But hey, don't worry. We came up with an easy system to get them hanging and shining in minutes. And all you need is 3 simple items: a ladder, a staple gun, and an indentured servant. Find out about all that and more on this week's episode of the Pause Button Podcast.
Oh my God! What?
All right, that's something.
Would it work faster?
I
Yep.
guess.
Silence is a yes.
I don't think we're looking for logic here. I think we're looking for morality.
I don't know. They're not slaves. They're indentured servants.
They're getting paid, right? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, without further ado, it's the holiday season. And today, we're going to be talking about music. So I figured we'd talk about holiday music. Santa? Is that you?
Yes, Brian. Sit on my lap.
I don't know Santa.
I think we got the wrong Santa.
Santa's got a weird smell to him.
Actually, the other day, I went to a eye doctor appointment, and my eye doctor had like a Santa Claus impersonator, I guess, there. And
At the eye doctor?
Yeah, the eye
Santa's
doctor.
getting his spectacles like touched up? Like what?
He was just like hired. I don't know. They had like kids come in and they were talking to him and stuff like that. And my eye doctor made me go and talk to the Santa. And I was like, oh, I don't want to though. Like I clearly expressed like a lack of interest through my silence when she suggested it. And then when it actually happened, I was like, oh God.
What did you tell Santa what you wanted?
No, he checked if I was naughty or nice, and I was nice, just barely. But
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
know
he's
how
the
he
judge of
knows.
that. I'd put you on the naughty list, but
Also, Brian, why wouldn't Santa be at the eye doctor? I mean, he has to read a list for like 24 hours.
yeah, okay, yeah, that breaks
He's
your
always
eyes.
watching.
He's got to stare at a list of all the children of the world. Breaks your eyes. Fair enough. Okay, I got it. So holiday music. First off, when is it acceptable to listen to it, and when do you need to stop?
How about before that, we introduce ourselves?
Oh, that's a good idea. Go ahead.
All right, I'm Joe. That's it.
I get top billing here. You guys got to go first.
I'm Tom, the tech guy.
Oh.
Top billing. Fuck you.
Yeah, headliner.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm Devontae, or the retro guy.
I'm Pat the Sunshine Kid is what I would say if I was Pat. But I'm not Pat because he's gone. His spine collapsed after last week's episode.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He's out for the count.
Yeah, if you want to donate to his GoFundMe, we got to get him a new spine. It's only about like $30 million.
His entire lumbar region needs to be replaced.
Isn't this a reference to what happened in the Avatar episode? I mean, the Avatar episode specifically, and that's our least watched episode we talked about earlier.
No, did that? It happened in the video game episode, didn't it?
I think it was the Avatar because I was there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
No, my time's all messed up.
He's still out.
Yeah, he came back next week, but then he took a turn for worse. I
So
don't
if
know.
you are our only die-hard fan, you got that one.
There we go. Yeah.
Hey.
All right. So I'm Brian, and welcome. So when can I listen to Christmas music? When is it okay? When am I not going to be publicly shamed for this?
When Mariah Carey becomes better at singing again.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's a shot at all I want for Christmas is you.
Yeah, but he's not wrong.
I
She's
guess.
gone downhill. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe
Sure.
just her attitude.
Sure.
We see her performance at that New Year's Eve, right?
Ooh, rough.
Ooh.
Yeah.
She was blaming.
Yeah,
she was
really
lip
bad.
syncing and
Yeah, you
blaming
could
somebody
tell.
else.
And, it
And
was,
then just stopped mid-song and just was like, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
In your performing career, you're gonna eventually have something not work, right? We all got our bad days.
I've never had that happen.
You've
Okay.
never had a bad day at work.
You've seen me do my open mic, right? Fucking flawless.
He's got a point. He's got a point. The audience was crying by the time he was done.
It's a crime against God that I'm not famous yet, you know?
God willing wants this to happen. So I didn't get an answer to my question.
After Thanksgiving.
Yeah, after Thanksgiving. So
Okay.
like the day after, Black Friday.
Black
I
Friday.
wouldn't mind hearing Christmas music when
Yeah.
I walk in the shop. I think that's okay.
What do I need
Yeah.
to stop though?
The end of Christmas.
No,
So the 26th, I gotta stop.
No, I get
No.
after New Year's.
Okay, after New Year's, I
Yeah.
can agree with.
Okay.
That fits through.
I'll do. You get it on Boxing Day, but after that, you're done.
Oh,
Yeah.
boo! You're wrong. All right, so what about the music itself? What are some of the best and worst Christmas songs out there?
Again, Mariah Carey sucks.
You're so wrong.
All right,
You're so wrong. The Christmas catalog has been something set in American culture for decades. Like we still listen to Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, 60, 70 years later, and Mariah Carey comes out with that, and she's just included in it. Like it's unbelievable how good that song is. You're completely wrong.
I mean, that's an opinion.
It's catchy. It's objectively
It is pretty
catchy.
catchy.
It's objectively highly acclaimed.
I always turn off the radio if I hear that song.
Wow.
Wow.
I like that song. I agree with Tom. I think she's gone downhill. But I mean, I like that song though.
My favorite Christmas song is Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters doing Jingle Bells. Jingle Bells itself is not that amazing of a song. It's pretty simple. It's pretty whatever. Their version of it is
basic.
it's basic. It's basic. Their version of it is so jazzed up and it's got some syncopation going on and it's so catchy. I love it. It's the best one.
All right. Mine probably be This Christmas by Donny Hathaway.
I don't know that one.
I'm sure you've heard it before.
Yeah.
It's like da 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 ba 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 da da.
It sounds good, but
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, it's a pretty good song. That or Christmas Time with all the children singing. I know it could be pretty annoying for some people, but I really like that song.
It's a nice you're driving late at night. It's quiet outside.
Yeah.
The snow lights are all going.
Yeah, I think it's
Or
pretty pretty.
the lights. Yeah.
I think as a best song for me, it would be "Carol of the Bells" by Red August Burns.
Ooh, shit.
Oh.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's actually I always forget about that one. That's a good pick. For me, since Tom took that one, last night Nick was actually showing me this song "Christmas Night in Harlem" by Louis Armstrong.
Oh, that
Oh,
sounds
that's
so
a really
good.
good
I gotta
song.
listen to
Yeah,
that.
it's really good.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up. Okay, that's good. What about worst? Because there's an answer to there's a right answer to this.
Yeah, I know
mean,
Tom's answer.
Yeah, I already said mine. So.
That's not the right answer.
For worst for me, I'm gonna go with "Last Christmas" by Wham.
Really?
Yeah, I know that. Okay, so my girlfriend really likes this song.
There's a movie about
And,
it.
I mean, it
The movie's terrible, apparently.
should have been their last Christmas song. But the one reason that I don't like it is I don't like the music of it, but
Okay.
also every time it comes on, I can't think about anything else besides the fact that George Michael died on Christmas. So
That's not his fault.
I mean, it's
that's
not
your
his
fault.
It's just I'm just saying I can't think about anything else when that song comes on. I'm just thinking about George Michael dying on Christmas.
Devontae, can you bring up the mood a little bit? Because Joey had to bring it all down.
I mean, I probably do agree with Joe. I don't really like
Wow.
Last Christmas by
There we
Wham.
go.
So you guys are gonna
Wham.
place Last Christmas above Santa Baby.
Santa Baby. Yeah. I mean,
Santa Baby is the worst. You keep
Santa
your
Baby,
sex
you
out
get
of
a
my
lot of
Christmas.
jokes out of that.
All right? It's so sexualized. It's this isn't Christmas. This is disgusting. You take that out of here.
Hey, it's Christmas for Santa.
You take your smut and you go home with it, all right?
I know, God forbid any of the dads that played Kringle for Christmas. They don't get some.
That's fine if they get some. I don't want to hear about it on the radio.
Oh, okay. No, I get one. I don't like Jingle Bell Rock.
Really?
I really don't like that song.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, it's a fun
No,
one.
I don't know why. Just some reason. It's every time I hear it, I have to skip it.
Interesting. I can't move past the section without giving a shout out to a couple of Christmas albums that I feel like you should listen to. Cocktails with Santa by Richard Cheese is fun. At one point, he gets drunk and yells at Santa. Sufjan Stevens' Christmas stuff is great. Bad Religion did a Christmas song album, which I can't tell if it's ironic or not because it's all the Jesus themed songs.
Their name is Bad Religion.
Yeah, I
it's
know.
ironic.
But it's so good. They do a really good job with all of them. And then J.D. McPherson's Socks. If you want to hear a 1950s Christmas, but from now with horn section and all, oh man, it's some good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. So before we get into everything, I have to tell you guys a story about Reddit. There's a subreddit called Shower Thoughts. You guys know that one? Mm-hmm. kind of like things that come to your head when you're in the shower and all that.
Right.
Somebody said we could probably get Kanye to make a metal album if the internet kept saying he probably couldn't do it.
Pass.
Like reverse psychology.
I wonder if you could. I'd be interested to hear it. There's a song that he's featured on an extension album where it's kind of like heavy guitar background. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's metal, but like, I'd be interested.
So the very next day on the music subreddit, this has a lot, 40,000 upvotes. Kanye West could not make a heavy metal Christmas album. As the title states, Kanye West is not talented or versatile enough artist to create a heavy metal album. Heavy metal is leaps and bounds out of reach of Kanye's musical talent, and he should never attempt to even make one.
Was there any response to it?
From Kanye, not that I know, but if he went from his Jesus album to a heavy metal album and actually did it, I would listen to that so much. Doesn't matter how good or bad
You
it
gotta
is.
listen to it at least once
No,
just
you
to
have
see.
to.
I mean, it's just
Yeah,
one of those
Kanye making
things.
metal album. Like I was just like, I hope this becomes a thing. So I had to share that being the music episode. So this is a music episode. So welcome to the Pause Button Podcast. Every other week, your 4 favorite hosts, sometimes 3, sometimes we replace Pat with Tom because Tom's better. We'll discuss a pop culture topic, usually related to music, movies, shows, or video games, and we'll do our darndest to entertain you along the way. You can expect surprising facts, funny jokes, deeply depressing monologues, and of course, unrelated witty banter. So sit down, shut up, and open your ears. It's time to hit pause. What are we doing today?
You just said we're talking about music.
Yeah. What's this called? What's the fancy name for it?
This is the Pauscars.
I asked them not to do that. They did it anyway.
I did it anyway.
Yeah, that's gonna sound like shit. It picked up really heavily on my mic.
Oh.
I could see it was a
We'll just turn it
large.
Oh,
down a little bit, right? Magic of
I'll
editing?
just mute it on this end. It's fine.
I felt like it was a nice touch.
Yeah, no, oh yeah. I like it. That's a little fanfare.
Yeah. So, let's jump in. Best album of 2019.
You want to go last?
I got a list of 17, so if I can go last, that'd be great.
Okay.
Wait,
All right.
This is why we don't like lists with you, Brian.
I'm only going to say number
So
one.
why do we keep doing that?
Because I come up with the topics and you do as I say, all right?
Oh.
I will fucking make you sound like shit.
Oh, he does have that power. Yeah, he does.
Okay, we're talking about albums.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did Mumford and Sons come out with an album in this past?
You don't even know.
Boy. Oh, boy. They came out with Delta last year.
That was good.
Delta was okay.
He was like, just pick that one.
Just for reference, Tom wasn't originally going to be on this episode, but Pat is pretty sick today, so I mean, don't get mad at Tom.
Tom, if you want some suggestions, I got 17 for you.
We don't always agree on music.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Let Tom have his own opinions.
No.
All right.
That was me trying to buy time.
All right, Joey.
All right,
Devontae,
I mean, I'll go.
All right.
So my best of 2019 will be Igor by Tyler, the Creator.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
This album is a little different compared to his other ones. It's more relatable to the Flower Boy one.
Can I take a guess as to what it is?
What?
Is it a concept album about the guy who's an assistant to Dr. Frankenstein, Igor?
Just the way Devontae was looking at Maloney like, I'm going to fucking quit this podcast. I swear to God.
And once again, silence probably means no.
But yeah, it's a really good one. I would definitely suggest it to everyone to take a listen to it, even if you're not into like rap, but it's just more like, I guess, pop rap. That new genre is going around.
Honestly, I like rap, but I haven't listened to like Tyler the Creator probably even once, and I don't really know why. It's never been on my radar, so I definitely need to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Go for it.
I've always heard good things about Tyler the Creator. I got to get into him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm behind. You want me to go next, Joey?
Okay, I'll go. So for my album 2019, I'm gonna go with Coldplay.
Yeah,
Everyday
I had a
Life.
feeling.
It came out. Yeah, I'm biased, you know. I'm a basic bitch. But yeah, I mean, Coldplay's my favorite band, and this album was really, really good. And in comparison to the last 2 albums they
Oh my
put out.
God.
I'm gonna say, I mean, the last album before this one was straight garbage, pretty much, in my opinion, and then the one before that was okay. So to see them come back and put out a good album made me really, really happy.
Yeah.
and I've been listening to it a ton.
And so soon, was it 2 years ago they came out with the colorful one?
No, it was like 3 years.
3 years, yeah. But that one was pretty poppy with not a lot of substance and just.
Yeah, I mean, they had Tove Lo featured on a song, so I mean, that's not like, you know.
And then I heard this one. I only got a chance to listen to it one time through. I was like, this is really something. Like, you could feel like they had a lot of energy behind it, and there's like a lot of creative like ideas for it. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. They got a little bit more political than I'm used to, but I mean, it's all pretty much ideas I agree with, so that's good.
They had that one song that was like a chorus with like the stomping and clapping and all that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they had it was kind of like a gospel song
Yeah,
almost. It was
yeah.
really good.
I really like that one. So my best album of the year would be Neo Theater by AJR. So they came out. They had a couple of albums and like some songs come out before their big album, The Click, which came out 2 years ago. And then it was a big hit, and they got lots of radio plays. That song "Sober Up" was like all over. So this album like starts off, and like it's all about how they're just like, well, what do we do next? I think the first song's called "Next Up Forever," and like he always wants to be about to come out with his next thing because he's so afraid of like, what if this album's not as good? What if we have all this momentum and then it just disappears? And the whole album just goes from there and has it's fantastic songs on there. It's all the different emotions it talks about, and it's so catchy and yeah.
And,
Nice.
I think you mentioned that your favorite thing about this album was the fact that they put on the concert for it as scheduled, on time and everything, right?
Yeah, the lead singer definitely didn't get strep throat and cancel and make me wait 2 months to see them. Oh, man. The overall is a fantastic album. There's a song called "Don't Throw Out My Legos," and it's about moving out and how he doesn't want to move on. And like, I don't know. I could go on. We could do a whole episode on that album.
I totally just found an album in
Hey.
2019.
What is it?
It is Divisions by Starset.
I'm honestly surprised you didn't say that originally.
I'm a fucking idiot.
I feel like you showed me Starset before, but I don't remember who they are.
Yeah, what kind of music are they?
If you've ever heard Breaking Benjamin, it's
Okay.
it's them.
Yeah,
Alright,
like alternative. Yeah.
They're like hard rock, like kind of
Okay.
Alternative.
Seether sounding, Creed without the Jesus.
Yeah.
Cool. So the next topic is going to be the best music video of the decade, and this one I feel like there's just an objective answer to.
Gangnam Style by Psy.
That's a close contender. It's a real close contender. But This Is America, Childish Gambino.
Yeah, that's what I
That
was
is
going to
pretty
pick.
good.
I was honestly having a really hard time with this. I thought it was going to be a lot more of like a fun topic for me, but it easily became one of the most stressful ones that you told us to think about. I don't know. It's just hard for me to think about a lot of music videos. I guess I don't watch them as much as I used to.
There's a lot. Like I wish I could go through my whole list here. Like, you guys ever see the Lonely Boy by Black Keys video? Or just some dude dancing by himself?
I love that.
That was bold to make that. You know what else
I
came?
don't know if I'd call it bold or just
Yeah.
Like, wow.
like hipster funny or just lazy. It's hard to tell.
Or technically it's tied to a movie, but Guardians Inferno by a fake band called the Sneepers. It was
Never heard of it.
It was the song that played at the end of Guardians 2 for the credits with David Hasselhoff, and they're all in like these cheesy 70s space outfits that have like a bunch of chest hair, and like it's the actors and David Hasselhoff just messing around.
Okay.
It's fun. You know what my number 2 one was though?
What?
Big Enough by Kieran J. Callanan.
What the fuck is
The
that?
Screaming Cowboy.
Oh, okay. that's
Screaming
a
Cowboy came out this
guy.
decade, and that's a
okay.
good music video.
Is it a good music video though?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Iconic.
What do you have, Devontae? If you have something different.
So yeah, mine would be Gangnam Style by Psy.
seriously?
that was me being serious. I think that started the big meme of like music videos at the time.
Well, it broke YouTube, right?
Yeah,
like it got
it
to
literally
the
broke
limit.
YouTube.
They had to change how many views you can get
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
video.
Whoa. Had no idea.
Yeah.
That's it. I had no idea.
Cool. We're moving on.
I mean,
You got one?
Yeah, you
Um,
can't exclude Tom.
we said of the decade, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Happy by Pharrell Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty good one.
What is that music video?
It's literally just people dancing
Yeah.
like wherever, and they're just happy. And I
Nice.
just-
Okay.
it's very uplifting.
Cool. I got to look that up.
Very very different from Starset. I don't know why.
That is
All
a
over the
big
place.
jump.
That song was such a big deal for a while too. I mean, that
It
was
was.
huge.
That it was. Our next category is Best Album Artwork of the Decade. This one, my list is 40 albums long.
Go fuck yourself.
There's
If
a
I hear
lot.
one honorable mention from you,
I will only say one. I will say one.
well, that's a problem.
No. He said he's gonna only say one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
progress, not a problem.
My number one album artwork of the decade is Currents by Tame Impala.
Oh, I don't know what that looks like.
Pull it up on your phone. Pull up your phone.
Oh God, I'm gonna
What the
Google
heck?
search
Wait,
while
what
we're
is it?
talking.
Currents by Tame Impala.
Keep talking.
So this, I just want to make sure you guys got it before I moved on. So I'm not the world's biggest Tame Impala fan. I think they're cool and they're nice, chill music to listen to. But you guys know the episode of Parks and Rec where they're designing like a mural for the Parks Department, and Tom goes to the arts college. And the guy makes something. He's like, "This is trash. What is this?" And then as he stares at it for a while, he's like, "The shapes, they just speak to me, man." The cover of this album just speaks to me. It's so perfect for the music that it has, and it's so weird, and it just, I don't know. I
You know
love
what it
it.
reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of like a Strokes album cover, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like I think
Yeah, it
they've had
looks
a few
like
that
very
kind
like
of
a
look
Strokes.
like.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
It kind of, for anybody who hasn't seen it and you're not going to look it up because you're just a lazy piece of trash, I mean, that's fine with you. But it just kind of looks like a pinball, maybe, in like this sort of like purple and black striped little
C?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know how else to describe
causing
it.
currents, causing waves.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm dumb.
You just don't have an artistic sense like I do.
Wow.
You son of a bitch.
What do you guys got?
For me, I was gonna go with "Lonesome Dreams" by Lord Huron.
Oh, dude, good
That's an
choice.
awesome. So I really wasn't a big fan of Lord Huron until you took me to the concert at Chicago Theater. And that was an awesome concert, and I got really into their music after that for a while. And Lonesome Dreams is probably my favorite album by them in general.
Really?
But the artwork for that album is so cool. It's just a little guy like on a camel riding into the desert basically at night. And
yeah.
it's simple. It's
And it
I
fits
think it
their
like
music
sets a good mood for the
perfect.
album.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and I've never heard of this band, but this cover looks pretty sweet.
I don't know if you would like them, but the album artwork, that's exactly their sound.
I like the little long cactus right there.
Yeah. Very minimalist.
Mine will probably be "Taking Back Roots" by We Came as Romans.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen this, like, if you don't really know about We Came as Romans artwork, they start off with "To Plant a Seed," and it's basically like this alien-looking guy with like trees coming out of his hands. And then they move on to their second album, and this "Taking Back Roots" is their third album after that. But this album, basically, he becomes the guy who has the trees in his hands from the first one, finally becomes the tree itself.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's cool.
I've been listening to this band for years since you showed them me. I never thought about that.
Yeah, he finally becomes the tree. And
Oh
it's
my
like-
God, that's so cool.
This is the last one before they switch over to their
Yeah.
their self-titled album, and now they don't use that logo anymore because the guy finally became the tree.
Huh.
Oh, nice. So I remember like being into them a long time ago. I think it was like back in high school when that first album came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember that cover with the little dude. So it's kind of cool to see that so full circle later on.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Not a lot of bands do stuff like that.
No.
Not
yeah.
anymore.
That's really cool. Tom, you got one?
So the album art I'm looking at is the one for a kind of minor band called Good Kid, and it's just a picture of like a guy with like one of those smiley face emoji faces and a bunch of colors coming off of him like seaweed, and I'm showing it to the group right now.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
It looks
That is
really
something.
fucking like trippy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's just like stoner mentality. I like it.
No, it's nice. It looks fun. You know what it kind of reminds me of is a little bit like Adventure Time or something.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
There you go.
We don't have time for an honorable mention, do we?
No.
moving on.
All right.
I have to be Pat today and just put my foot down.
All right.
Fucking
fine.
no.
Moving on. Best metal
No,
album.
Pat usually beats him. Hit him, Tom.
Oh. No. Best metal album of the decade. That's gonna bruise. So best metal album. What we got? There's a lot of choices here. I only have 10 with 2 honorable mentions,
Only 10.
so 12 really.
I guess I can go first. This is probably the hardest one I had to decide because I usually, if it's not video game music, anime music, it's metal music. So, mine would actually probably be Mothership by Dance Gavin Dance. This is like an album I had on repeat constantly within the past decade. And if you never heard of Dance Gavin Dance, this is a band that kind of went through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
They had one singer originally, got addicted to coke, kicked him out, got a different singer. He decided he wanted to leave. Got the coke singer back, kicked him out again for him,
Doing coke.
And then now they have an amazing singer, Tillian, who's been with the band for like the last 3 or 4 years. And I think this was his second album they had with him. And it was great. And I listened to him repeat almost like every other month.
Cool.
Speaking of since we just came off album artwork, I have looked up some of their album artwork in the past, and I really like their covers.
Yeah, I like the little animals and those are really cool. Like I don't know if they have necessarily meaning, but they're always really good to look at. Like they always think of something creative to do with them.
It's like a Where's Waldo kind of.
Yeah, bit. Almost. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I was kind of hoping you'd pick my number one so that I could talk about my number two. But my number one is Understanding What We've Grown to Be by We Came as Romans. That's their second album. I had a hard time picking between that one and the third one, the Tracing Back Roots. But as I looked at the set list, it was just like the second album just has so many better songs on there.
Very good, yeah.
It's just starting off with Misunderstanding is the first song, and just where it goes from there. I love that album, and I gotta put it as number one.
Yeah, it was like that album definitely. When they announced it, I think that was the most excited for a metal album I've ever been. Because when they released the singles for it, it was for Misunderstanding, and then what's the last track on that album?
Understanding What We've Grown to Be.
Yep, Understanding What We've Grown to Be. Those are the first and the last track. Those were the 2 singles they released, and everything in between is still its greatest.
They're all great.
Yeah.
So I don't really listen to too much metal. At least I haven't this past year, or I guess decade, whatever. So I'm gonna go with Amon Amarth.
Really? Okay.
Joms Viking. I think that's how you say it. Joms Viking. Anyway, I remember Amon Amarth because my brother used to be really into metal when we were younger, and he would play Amon Amarth a lot. And I legitimately haven't listened to this album, so don't shit on me if it's terrible. But go listen to it, give it a try. It was so fun. I remember, because just imagine 2 of the nerdiest looking white kids in this old Buick, and my brother's putting on heavy metal music and stuff.
Well, not just heavy metal music, Viking metal.
Yeah.
So cool.
And him and his friends actually tried to start a Viking metal band, even though none of them play instruments. And I remember him banging on pots and stuff like that, trying to record a song in our house one time.
That's so
when
dedicated.
We were younger. It was really dedicated. I think he was the only one who was that dedicated. But yeah, that's my pick.
Nice.
My pick, for mine, we're gonna travel across the seas to a distant land known as Japan.
Ooh.
And we're gonna pick Baby Metal.
Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah, that's not
not
a bad choice.
Specifically their song "Gimme Chocolate" because it is addicting to listen to. Much like chocolate.
You got to hand it to them. They had a vision of what they were gonna be, and they owned it. If you don't know Baby Metal, it's 4 Japanese schoolgirls?
3 now. One of them left.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 4 originally.
Just doing heavy metal music. You look at them, you're like, wow, what's this gonna be? And then
but they have their cute little voices, and then it's just fucking the hardest metal you've ever heard.
The juxtaposition of those two, it's so unique. I loved it. Very nice. Did everybody? Did everybody go?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next one is a kind of we don't got too much time here, so we're kind of mashing some things together. This is best folk, bluegrass, or country album of the decade.
It's Mumford & Sons. Anything.
Which one? Sign No More came out in 2009, so you can't do Sign No More.
Fine, Delta.
Delta?
Yeah, I like Delta.
More than their other ones? Over Babel and Wilder Mind?
Oh, I was getting mixed up between Sign No More and the Babel. My bad. Babel's better.
Yeah, okay. I was like, dude, I will fight you on that.
I do not keep music well in order in my head.
Okay, I get you.
That's fair.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
All right, okay, I'll go. Mine's kind of troll, probably because it's the only country album song on this album.
Oh no.
Mine's gonna be 7 EP by Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
Yep. Had a feeling we're going there.
Because I do not listen to the genre at all. But it's a great album. It has Old Time Road on it. It has the remix of Old Time Road on it.
With Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus and the Yodel Kid. Like,
You can't. We needed to talk about that song on this episode because that song changed music. Like.
Yeah.
Rapping country together, it just sounds like okay, and then that song comes out and everyone loves it. It's like, all right, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that'd be my choice.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Beast Epic by Iron and Wine.
Oh, okay.
I really like that album. It's really good, and it was kind of a return, I think, to a little bit more of a simple sound for him than I remember the past albums before that being.
You branched out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, which isn't bad, actually, because I remember talking shit about that one album, and then you were like, no, it's good.
That's my favorite
And I
of
went back
his.
and listened to it. I was like, oh, yeah, it is good.
It's amazing.
But, yeah, I really like that song, Call It Dreaming, off this album. It's one of my favorite songs that he's done.
Okay.
So, I like that one.
Very nice, very nice. I am not going to talk about my number one for reasons I'll get into later. We'll talk about it at another point. But my number two album has to be Frank Turner's Tape Deck Heart. So just the emotional, like, I don't know, the emotions on that album just are everything from like excitement to like very like depressing and like down, and like he just perfectly sums up all of that. And the album starts off with that song Recovery, which is probably his biggest song. And The Way I Tend to Be was really catchy. You can't listen to Plain Sailing Weather without feeling sad. Like, Four Simple Words is a catchy, fun one. There's just so much.
I love The Way I Tend to Be.
Yeah. Polaroid Picture is a beautiful, beautiful song. It's about like take a picture now because like by this time next year, not everybody here might not be here. Like whether they move away or die or whatever. And it's just one of those just like snapshot moments of your life kind of songs. And
to let the audience know, Brian looked around the room as if he was going to murder us after that, saying that. It sounded like a threat.
wow. I mean,
You're not gonna be here next year.
no one questioned why Pat's not here. Just gonna put that out there. You guys ready for the next category?
Yeah, let's go.
Best alternative / indie album of the decade.
All right, I can go first.
Okay.
Mine is gonna be Contra by Vampire Weekend.
Oh, that's a good choice. It's a really
Nice,
good
yeah.
choice. What were some of the songs on that one?
It had the Cousins. They had Run on that album.
Oh, that's got Horchata on it.
Yep, Horchata is
Horchata's
on
a
it.
good song.
California English, like
California English, yeah.
yeah. So
That's the one
my
where the
favorite.
cover is like that blonde lady, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good album. What do you got, Joey?
I got, it's called Glory Sound Prep by John Bellion is the artist.
Oh, yeah, you showed me him.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you actually listened to him.
Yeah. I
yeah.
listen to things you suggest to me.
Oh, I don't know. A lot of people don't. Do I blame them? I guess not necessarily. But yeah, really good album. And he just has like a very different sound to him. He kind of blends a lot of things. When I actually looked him up, the like Wikipedia counts him as an American rapper. And I was like, I don't know if I'd
think
really
that's
call
right.
him
Yeah.
like rap, but
No, he's
I
not
don't know.
rap.
But yeah, he blends a lot of things. He puts in a lot of orchestral movements, and his sound is just kind of weird, so I figured I'd include him under alternative.
Okay, yeah. No, that sounds about right. Tom, do you got one?
I'm looking to see if I have one.
Okay, I can take some time.
Something
'cause,
Rise Against.
This album I could talk about for
Nah.
no, this album I could talk about for at least 2 episodes of a podcast. The Click by AJR. It came out in 2017, and it's kind of similar to that John Bellion sound, where it's just trumpets and strings and drums and just one of the biggest critiques I have of music is like I feel like instruments are colors, and when people just use 2 guitars, a bass, and a drum set, they're painting with black and white, and they hardly include all these other things. And this band's like, no, we're gonna throw in everything in there. They got Sober Up going with like a cello starting it off. They've got a song on there called it's on the a deluxe edition. But there's one called Role Models. It's kind of like about how they looked up to Louis C.K. and Kanye, and then like kind of negative stuff happened with them, and they're like, I looked up to you. Why'd you do this? There's an awesome trumpet melody on there. There's a song on there called Netflix Trip, and it's about how much they love The Office. And like how it related to his life, and like how his grandma died when he was watching season 3, and like everything this album touches on. And it starts off with an overture. It's a popular album with an overture that includes the themes on the album. I could go on and on about this. I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that
sounds
analogy
awesome.
that you said about the black and white and stuff, painting with black and white.
Yeah,
and
no,
other
there's so
instruments.
many different
That's
options
very
out there.
beautiful.
Yeah. Did I pad enough time, Tom, or you want me to keep talking?
It would have to be Bon Iver's newest release,
Okay.
I-I, which I actually just came out this year.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bon Iver's a name I've always heard, don't know much about. I really need to look into him.
He's great.
Yeah, I like the stuff in the past, but I just kind of stopped listening to him for whatever reason.
All right, cool. We're going to be moving on to Best Rap Album of the Decade. Who wants to go?
I could go. I'm gonna go with Undone by The Roots. I really like that album. I like them as a group in general. I think they're incredibly talented musicians. That album just has a couple really cool songs on it where everything flows really well. I think that they're so clever with their lyrics. So I've listened to that a bunch of times. I remember I had to like buy it on a CD and stuff just so I could like listen to it in the car.
Wow.
It's great. Great
Yeah,
album.
Yeah.
I have
awesome.
not heard of them. I have to look them up.
Oh, they're huge. Well, I don't know if I'd say they're huge, but do you know Questlove at all?
Name sounds familiar.
He's like a guy with a big fro. He does drums for Jimmy Fallon's band.
Yeah,
well,
that
actually,
guy.
I mean, the Roots play for Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Never mind, it's
Yeah.
the whole band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Questlove is probably the most famous of them, I would
Okay.
say, because I think he talks the most.
I
He's kind of
recognize
like-
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll have to look them up then.
All right, so yeah, I'll go next. Mine is actually going to be Flower Boy by Tyler, the Creator.
Is that the same one you picked for?
No,
Okay.
Igor. So Igor came out this year in 2019.
All right.
Flower Boy came out in 2017, I believe. And I've been listening to Tyler probably since 2011, and he's probably not for everyone, his early music, because it's pretty crude and like probably stuff that most people don't want to hear. But Flower Boy in 2017, he kind of took a different approach at his rap. And I think this is probably what got him as popular as he is now because of this album here. Like it's rap, but it's not as crude as it is, and it has a lot of melodic lines in the album compared to his other ones. Where
Alright.
it's like, he's dropping F-bombs and calling people, derogatory terms, everything I won't say on here, but
Yeah.
I would definitely suggest this one if you want to get into Tyler.
I mean, you could say a couple of the words just to kind of
No.
give a taste of the album
No.
to
I'm
the
kind of
listeners.
surprised because I mean I feel like I don't want to sound like I'm putting a bad like name on it or stuff, but I mean rap a lot of times it's not like the
Yeah,
cleanest
definitely not.
genre.
And
you know?
to name your
So,
album
yeah.
Flower Boy, that's risky.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that could just not go over well, but good for him.
Yeah.
Tom, you got one?
Post Malone's Hollywood's
one.
Bleeding.
Oh, thank you for bringing that album up. Oh my God.
I think we can all agree Brian looked like he just jizzed himself.
I would look through all the albums that came out this year, and then I was like, oh, Post Malone came out with one, didn't he? And I put it on and had my mind blown. I was like, this is one of the greatest pop albums ever made. Like, every song is fantastic. He fits Ozzy Osbourne on there somehow, and it's great. Sunflowers on there, which is itself, an amazing. It's a perfect song. We could say that. It's so good. It's so, and like the album. It has such a feel to that album. Everything just feels cohesive, like together, cohesive. I loved listening to it. Good choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I know good music.
Yeah.
There was also that whole thing where everybody thought, it was the same thing with Paul McCartney on the Kanye West and Rihanna song, 4 or 5 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Like when they thought, they're like, oh, thanks for making this guy Ozzy Osbourne so famous. And what?
This might be one of the last things he does. Apparently he's got a new album next year. I don't know.
I guess he just needs to not go on tour anymore.
He's supposedly on his last tour now,
Yeah,
but we'll see.
yeah,
You know how
we'll
it goes.
see.
Motley Crue's coming back already. They took like 3 years off. All right. My best rap album of the decade was The Heist by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. Yeah. Have you listened to all of it? So like everybody hears Macklemore and they're like, "Oh, Thrift Shop. That's okay, fine." And Can't Hold Us, sure. There's the song "Same Love" on there. That's about like the LGBT movement and all that. There's a song about White Walls, which is about how he wants to have a Cadillac. So there's one called "Wings." That's a great song about how like he loved Jordans as a kid, and then one of his friend's brothers just got murdered for him, and he just goes and talks about like that culture and everything. And then the album ends with a song called "Cowboy Boots," which has like banjo and like I don't know. There's more to Macklemore than you think. You have to listen to that album.
Actually, I mean, I'm giving you crap. I'm giving him crap, but I do like his first album. I mean, I think he really fell downhill after that. But the first album, it was good, and it talked about a lot of different issues and stuff.
His second album was still good, and his third album had some stuff. The first song on his second album is amazing. I don't know. You guys ready to move on to pop?
Sure.
Okay, so this is the best pop or popular album. It's playing fast and loose with the genres kind of here. So I just kind of thought of it as an album that sold like crazy. Like everyone talked about these albums. They were big. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a pop, like whatever. So what do you guys got?
I'm going to go with I Used to Know Her by Her. Her name, I guess, stands for Having Everything Revealed. I think that's what I remember. I think it's kind of a bad name because it's really confusing to tell people about. Like, who do you like? Her. And I'm including her in this because Brian said that he just included R&B into pop, so this is what I have to do.
I was sorry.
So, no, but it keeps me from being even more basic
here?
than I usually am. But her is really good. Anybody who hasn't listened to her, really good. You should go check her out.
All right.
I'll go next. Mine is actually going to be "Thank You Next" by Ariana Grande.
That's a big album.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really into Ariana Grande, and I listened to this album, and I probably listened to it, I don't know, on repeat for like a week when it first came out. Because I was like, oh, it's just Ariana Grande. Like, I'm not going to check it out. Like, you know, who cares about it? And I put it on. I was like, this is actually really good.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised.
Does Thank You Next, is that the one that has NASA on it?
Yeah.
No? Yeah, I like that song.
Yeah.
That and Seven Rings.
Seven Rings. And Imagine, the song Imagine, like the opener, I think is great. Because it shows off her vocal range and everything. So,
yeah. I think she definitely did some different stuff with that album than she usually does. So,
yeah.
I mean, kind of a turning point for her, I guess.
It made a mark, yeah.
Almost every song in the album is kind of different from each other, too, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, since it is kind of folk, but I just felt like because it did so well for them. I did Babel or Babel for Mumford & Sons. That album is just like a victory lap of a band. Like, they came out with Sigh No More, and it was great. And then they got really famous with Little Lion Man. And then this whole album is just like, yeah, we know how to write really good folk, really good folk, pop, just ballads and songs and catchiness. And like you can't listen to that album and not just feel with it. Like Lover of the Light is a great one. I Will Wait was like the big one that came off of it. Everything that was on there. The special edition had the cover of the Boxer. I don't know. And the album artwork's so colorful. It just felt like yeah, we know we're great, and here's us doing everything to the top of our ability. I loved it.
I like their cover of the Boxer. Really good.
Yeah. Tom, you got one?
I don't know if it counts, but Ed Sheeran, Division.
Yeah, that counts.
Sure.
He's the biggest artist on Spotify.
Number one artist.
I don't know.
All right. Well, that's a good choice. What did you say, Division?
Yeah, Division Deluxe, specifically.
Okay. Yeah, you got to include the Deluxe.
Yeah, and then specifically the song Nancy Mulligan. I actually really like that song.
Oh, is that the Irish theme kind of one? Or
yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Our next one is Punk or Ska. I doubt anybody's going to include the ska part, but that's in there for me. So I'll go first. It's almost like I felt like I didn't have a choice. I had to pick Streetlights album, The Hands That Thieve.
Oh, that's me too.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Awesome. I'm not alone. Ska's still cool. It's the 90s. No, what did you think of this album?
So it's hard to live up to Everything Goes Numb. But they did have some really good songs on it. So I mean, I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do for next 2021, not next year. But I think it's not bad.
No, but it's great. If Only for Memories is a great one. Ungrateful, I really enjoy. You can hear the three of us and not get excited for the rest of the album. Your Day Will Come is a great way to end it. They did a lot of cool stuff with that one.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite song on off of it is With Any Sort of Certainty.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's a good song.
What you got over there?
So I'm gonna pick pop punk. I don't know if that really counts, but
yeah,
I'm doing
that's
it.
in there.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with This Story So Far by This Story So Far.
Okay.
Really good album. I just remember listening to it in the car a lot. It's good driving music if you're running or something like that. Good running music. I think they have a cool sound, and we saw them. Well, I saw them this past year at Riot Fest.
Yeah.
And they put on a really good show. They lived up to the album recording. So
They're definitely one of those giants in the punk pop kind of or pop punk genre.
yeah, for sure.
Tom, can I take a guess as to what artist you chose?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it Rise Against?
Yeah!
Wow. But
Wow.
which one?
Fuck. I don't know album names, man.
Anything that's after the one that had Re-Education Through Labor on it, but not that album.
Yeah, pretty much all of it. It doesn't matter.
They were at Riot Fest too. They were pretty good.
I saw one song, and then I went off to Andrew WK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll go with Endgame.
And, okay.
Architects is the song I would definitely recommend.
Hinting at our next episode, there's nothing wrong with choosing Endgame for number one.
Oh god.
Oh.
Had to. All right. Did we all go?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is Best Rock Album.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Rise Again.
There you go, Rise Against Again. Nothing wrong with that.
Joey?
Give me a second.
Sure.
Because I gotta look up the name of the album, but I know who I'm picking.
Okay.
But-
Devon? Oh, yeah.
For Rise Against this time, it will be Wolves, and I would like you people to listen to House on Fire.
Wolves. Is that the one that had, I forgot the name of the thing. Hold on.
Where they had a song called, I think, The Violence.
The Violence.
And it was not as shouty as I wanted it to be.
Yeah. It's still, I love the opening, though. Like, it definitely builds up the energy. My one, it has to be Tearing at the Seams by Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. His first album was great, but this album, a lot of the times when I'm choosing these lists, I have to decide between what is objective, I feel like has more art to it and is better, versus what I just kind of enjoy and subjective to me. Like, Real Big Fish is high up on my list, and I know they're not the greatest ska band out there, or band in general, but, it meant a lot to me. This album is a perfect mixture of songs that I love, with also just a lot of artistry to it, and the emotions he can bring out are amazing. Intro is a fantastic song that's on there. You Worry Me was the big song that came off of it. Anything that includes horns, I'm in love with. Hey Mama might be the best one on the album. I could talk day and night about that album.
My
Awesome.
stomach just growled really, really loud. Sorry, I'm not laughing at your opinion. Tom looked at me and was like, "You all right?"
That's good. That's good.
I share in his pain right now.
I think for mine, I was thinking. So this one I was actually kind of torn between because I don't listen to too much rock, but I feel like I should do an actual rock band, and I chose The Hunting Party by Linkin Park.
Oh yeah. All right.
Because I feel like this one kind of brought it back to their roots. Basically like Hybrid Theory. This one reminded me of kind of like that. I mean, it's not as good, obviously, but it reminded me a lot of that album, and I was kind of shocked because they went through that phase when it was kind of like, what is going on?
A Thousand Suns.
Yeah,
and-
1,000 Suns, and then they had the I think Living Things, which wasn't bad. They had a few songs in there that were decent, but I think The Hunting Party would be my choice.
What was like the big song off of that one?
I think I know Keys to the Kingdom was a good one. Guilty All the Same.
Guilty All the Same. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. I like Mark the Graves off that one, and Final Masquerade. So, yeah, if you haven't listened, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, what a
Okay.
band in general too. I feel like they have a pretty good story behind them.
Oh,
just
yeah.
with all
Yeah.
the stuff they've gone through. But they were actually my first album. I remember I bought Meteora. That was like my first
Hey,
album
nice.
that I ever bought. For my pick, I was gonna go with. Damn it, my phone. It's the Struts. It's Everybody Wants. Everybody
Oh,
Wants.
good
and I think
choice.
it's supposed to be like the Struts. Yeah, they're an awesome band, and I hadn't seen them live until this past summer. And geez, man, that guy is a hell of a showman. He reminded me of like Freddie Mercury.
Mhm.
He can really put it on.
That's what he's going for, and
And-
he knows how to do it.
Yeah, they won me over big time with that show. So great
They-
album. Listen to them. And I kind of agree with Devontae too. It was really hard to pick this. I think rock is kind of, at least what you want to call like actual rock is kind of like dying a lot. So.
I want to do an episode of the podcast on that because I disagree.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Because I was with Joey. I was like, I don't think standard rock just exists anymore.
Yeah.
We got to do it then. Tom, you got one? Wait, no, didn't you already say
I already
that?
said mine.
Yeah.
Rise Against.
All right, so next one's a little bit more subjective since we can't go to every concert.
These are all objective.
Well, no, like you know, best concert of the decade. What was our favorite concert? I know. We'll go quick.
I'll go. So mine actually going to be, I saw Crown the Empire, I think, this year? Yeah, in the summer. They did their Sudden Sky tour, and they played a lot of their songs from, like their second album, which I can't remember off the top of my head. But I think that was probably one of the best concerts I've ever gone to because they brought out the energy. Everybody was, moshing and singing along, and they had a cappella song, actually, for it. That everybody sung along to, and it was really cool. So
And We Came as Romans was right before them, right?
Yep, We Came as Romans was before them.
It's still doing a great job
Yeah.
with Kyle, right? When he was the one who passed away?
Yeah. That was the first time they didn't have Kyle, their clean vocalist, with them, but they still did an awesome job. But for Crown the Empire to come out and kind of outshow We Came as Romans, which I think they looked up to, which is really awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Coldplay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be myself again. But yeah, I'm going with them, and I'm going to go specifically in 2011 when I saw them at Lollapalooza. I've seen them put on better shows than that, but that was the first time I had ever seen them, and to be able to be that close to Coldplay for paying for, one day of Lollapalooza, it was incredible. It was my dream. So it
Nice.
was awesome. Plus, there was so much hype around them then with Milo Xyloto. So.
Yeah, that was a great album.
Mhm. That's it.
Yeah. Tom, you got one?
Sorry to bring up Mumford & Sons so much this podcast.
Dude, they're great live. No issues there.
It was when they were showing off the album for Babel, and it was like,
You saw them after that one?
yeah,
God.
yeah, suck
so
my
jealous.
dick. So I went with our good friend. He's known as Goodman, and
Good man.
let's just say that concert was amazing.
That's not the one where they had the Stanley Cup there, was it?
It might have been, yeah.
So jealous.
Concert envy.
For me, I had a really hard time picking this. Best one out of 30 that I counted. So this one, I got to see Frank Turner, kind of like an intimate setting. He's my favorite artist. And the first half of the concert was him talking about his new album where he was doing like famous women and the history's kind of forgotten by himself, acoustic. And then break, intermission, and he came back and did like an acoustic set with the rest of his band. And he told, like, the first part was stories about these women. The second half was him telling his life story almost about how, like, he had these hardships and issues and, like, how these songs tied to his life and blew my mind away. And I got to meet him afterwards, too. I got his autograph and a picture with him, and, like, that was enough. I'm set. I don't think anything will ever top that in my life. I loved that concert. If you don't listen to his music, you need to listen to his music. All right. We got 2 more categories, so we'll move nice and quick. Nice and
I didn't
quick.
realize we had 2. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be easy.
How about this? Just name and give like one sentence for who you think the best band or artist of the decade was. Who had their best 10 years?
Dance Gavin Dance for me.
Great choice.
I'm going to go with Bastille.
Ah, interesting choice. Okay.
Childish Gambino.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go with Blink-182. I might get some shit for that, but their comeback, man. I loved it.
No, it's warranted. I almost picked it.
Okay.
It is a damn good song.
The 2 damn good albums. They're all great. Speaking of albums, the best album of the decade. It's time. What we got?
No,
Silence means no, is that?
Okay, I'll go. So this is an album that I always go to, and I was like, I don't know what to listen to, so it has to be my top album of the decade. It's gonna be Sire by Jaden Smith.
Oh,
Wow,
nice.
okay.
I can respect it.
How about you? Are you waiting to go last?
No, I can go ahead. So I didn't mention it in the folk one because this is my number 1 folk one. But Frank Turner's Positive Songs for Negative People. I didn't even need to think. Surprisingly, I knew this decision just in my gut. I want this album tattooed on me, so I kind of made my decision nice and easy. But every single song on there is fantastic, and I keep talking about like the emotion behind the albums, and this is his best one yet. And it's a ride, and everything in it is beautiful and fantastic and as Frank Turner as possible. So no question, I had to pick this album.
Cool. I'm just gonna go. I had a really hard time picking this. I couldn't narrow it down, and I'm just gonna go with like a Hail Mary, basically being basic again. So I'm gonna pick Ed Sheeran's number 6 collaborations project album.
Wow,
I really
surprising.
like that album a lot, and it's very different for him. He put on so many different artists on that album. I mean, artists who were famous in their own right before him for sure. But it's just cool to see so many people work together. A lot of people have featurings in their songs, but still, really good.
Okay,
Nice.
Tom.
I'm gonna catch a lot of shit for this.
Oh boy, here what we got?
It's gonna be "Where'd Your Weekend Go" by the Mowgli's. That
Wow.
album. Yeah,
I didn't even know you listened to them.
I do. I need positivity in my life, and they bring it.
Yeah, Rise Against isn't exactly going to bring all the happy feelings. All right, that's a great choice. So there's enough music for you to listen to for a whole other decade. We hope you enjoyed. You can see, I know I'll be tweeting out my top 10, 20, 30, 40 lists of everything. We're almost there. We got one more episode to finish out the year. Share with your friends and all that. We hope you're enjoying these countdowns for the decade and everything. Anything to wrap it up from you guys?
No?
It's Mariah Carey. Don't listen.
Don't do that.
Well,
so,
also, if you have enough music to listen to for the next decade, you're going to be real behind.
that too.
You know?
That too. So we will see you in 1 week to talk about the best movies of the year. Make sure to share this with all your friends. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. It's on the description and down there. So one more episode to go. But until then, what's our next topic?
Which artist is going to make Post Malone famous?
Ooh, all right. We'll find out soon. But until then.
Now we're going to hit pause.